we're now getting into Luka championship contention years here. I mean, if you
Well,
had the Western Conference.
And this is where I want to jump in, because to me, this Mavericks team looks a hell of a lot like the Cleveland Cavaliers circa 2006 or 7. There is not young talent on this roster. They're out draft picks. They are pretty much stuck cap wise. Like, they can maybe eventually get some salary cap space, but this is not a group going forward. You look at it and say, yeah, this is a team that should be in championship contention. To your point, McMahon, to me, Dallas could very well be a play-in team next year. Yeah. They just let a guy walk who they could have re-signed. They repeatedly chose not to extend for a very good number during the season, completely butchered the negotiations on it. Even if you don't think he's worth what they paid and they shouldn't have re-signed him this summer, they sure as hell should have signed him in January for the extension that he was willing to sign for, and they didn't do. So you look at where Dallas is at, to me, it's hard for me to see how this team is going to be a real contender over the next 2-3 years. And let's say 3 years from now, that has Luka Doncic with 1 year left on his contract with a team that is probably, at least as it looks right now, not going to be a contending team. That to me is where this is.
Well,
this is
I don't want to look too
at.
far into the future, but we can just look into the future for this year. And
No. I think you have to look into the future.
When you have to have a big picture view.
Yeah. When you have Luka, look at where we've spent the last 2 weeks talking about Kevin Durant with 4 years left on his deal, saying it's time for me to go. We have Donovan Mitchell, 3 years left on his deal, being put in trade discussions and likely being traded. I'm not saying Luka Doncic is going to ask out of Dallas, but like, if we're in the territory, like you said, he's on his second contract. Unrestricted free agency is on the clock. And right now, if you're work for the Mavs or you're a fan of the Mavs, how do you look at this situation and say, here's the path of this team being a championship level team? Here's the path to getting a second star to play with Luka Doncic, the championship caliber player. It's just, they made their swing at Kristaps Porzingis. That didn't work. Jalen Brunson was a nice second round pick that developed. They then butchered negotiations. He leaves in free agency for nothing. They don't even get a trade exception for him. I would be pretty discouraged right now if I'm a Mavs fan about the direction of this team.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.